have a lot of stock in this game. I'm putting a lot of stock in it. I hope y'all put a lot of stock in it. I hope y'all give it a try, too. So it's coming to Steam. It's launching early access. Within 30 minutes, we have the honor to join us today. The devs from the Motion Twin team, the creators of Dead Cells, and now Windblown as well. Please, chat, give a warm welcome. I'd like to introduce you to Bijou, Carduce, and Zeb, and they'll be playing Windblown with us today. How are you? How are we doing?
Hello, Alien.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we're doing great. We're very excited for today.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I'm
super
sure.
Stressed.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you
Stressed
make
too.
time for something like this. Like, you should be probably very stressed and working very hard at this time, but you chose to spend your time here. So I appreciate it. That's for sure.
Oh, we are glad to be there.
Okay, so yeah, so this is a 3-player co-op game, if I recall, here. So we have a couple people that'll be playing with us. That'll be Carduce and Zeb, and then Bijou's gonna just kind of help talk us through some stuff too. And it's kind of nice to have someone, I think, on the side that isn't distracted by a rather cutthroat game, if I may say. Who can kind of talk a bit more freely while I'm very, very distracted, probably.
No problem. I will try to back you guys.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I guess we'll kind of go down the line, if you guys don't mind telling me, like, we'll talk about the game, of course, but just a quick, like, what you do for Motion Twin, maybe, and what you've done for Windblown, perhaps?
Sure. So yeah, I can start if you want. So I'm
ahead,
Sebastian. I'm working mainly on the gameplay programming of the game and the game design.
Okay.
And that's it. Yeah, I've been at Motion Twin for 3.5 years now. And yeah, happy to release Windblown today in early access. Bijou, if you want to continue.
Yeah, yes, I can. But I think Sebastian has been a bit too much humble because he added all the build crazy stuff you can do in the game. So he did quite a lot. Well, on my part, I have mostly the same kind of work as Sebastian. I've been there a bit more. Was the first one to be lucky enough to be recruited after Dead Cells. And yeah, worked on a lot of the locomotion, the game feel, the dash, the alter attack system, that kind of stuff.
So the dash is basically your product. Can we give you credit for the dash, because it is so buttery smooth? Can I just say?
Let's give credit to the whole team, because without feedback and frustration from everyone, we would not have that one. Definitely, everything is a collective thing. So yeah, and we also have Thomas Carduce.
Hello, so my name is Thomas, and I can say that Bijou is very proud of his dashes. He won't say it, but he's very proud of it. So yes, you're right. We can we can give him credit for that. So yes, I'm Thomas. I committed Dead Cells with the team a long time ago. I don't remember, and after that we did 4-year works on Windblown. So it's been a long wait for this day. So we are very, very happy.
You started Windblown 4 years ago. Is that right?
Maybe more for me.
Wow.
Maybe a bit more, because I do drawings at the beginning with Gwen and Noemi, and we are the first people to make things on the project because there is nothing in code yet in the game. So we are just drawing things to give ideas to the team.
So you started with the concept art. Yeah, I've heard of these independent games. Usually, like, they'll start early access like only a year or two after the concept. But wow, I mean, you can tell it shows in the product that, you know, this game's you've been working on it for a long time. That's for sure, I think.
Yeah. But the time is going very fast because we are always on the clock, giving everything we can to make this game appears on the internet somehow. So yes, it's long and very fast by the same time.
So Zeb, someone in chat said all the bugs are going to be your fault since you're the coder. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, each and every one of them. So you can poke me on Discord if you ever find a bug in the game, and I'll happily answer. Please don't.
Never said that.
All right, well, I mean, we're gonna putt around and probably talk a lot, but I guess we'll go over the basics of the game for now. So I'll kind of like hop into a run. You know, I'm sure a lot of people here have. Oh, I get to pick a zone to start in. I didn't even realize this right now. But yeah, we'll kind of go over the basics of the game right now. I figure before like we kind of hop into co-op, kind of get a beginner introduction for anyone who hasn't played the demo or anything like that, and hopefully get them to check out early access here, you know, which is coming out in, we got 25 minutes. The countdown has truly begun. Okay, so here we are on a run. Would I pick Golem Gardens? I already forgot here. So we get pretty basic, I guess, melee attack combo with the X button. We start with another weapon already. I think I picked this up because I just unlocked it, which is the kunai, which is the Y button. I think one of the interesting things you have here is the major incentive to try to get players to use kind of both weapons in tandem. So at the end of the combo, we kind of get an indicator to use the alternate weapon, and that will get like a kind of a big attack. And each one has its own independent one. It has like its own special move. Forgive me, what's the name when you swap into the second weapon at the end of a combo exactly? What's the name for this, I guess, feature?
The alter attack.
The alter attack, is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, because I couldn't remember what it's called, and I was just using different names willy-nilly. I was saying, oh, it's the swap, it's the switch, it's something like that. Okay, so the alter attack. I'm definitely going to commit it to memory this time, I swear. So I think that's a really good way to get us to kind of try all the different weapons, and also to get us to kind of switch up our, you know, combo mashing that sometimes we'll get stuck with. Because then you really got to choose what you want to kind of main in and what you want sort of the sub weapon to almost be. And you get iframes too when you use it. Typically, it depends on the weapon, but it's going to be different each time. But it actually changes up the weapons really well, I think, here. Anyway, we got a death orb for ourselves. So that's going to be on the left button. This is kind of like a standard looking cooldown. Starts off really high, but I had a run last night that went really well where I kept lowering the cooldowns, and it was great. It was great. I thought it went really well. I haven't tried these ninja stars in a while, I think, here. Might be time to try it, but yeah. Why don't we get rid of the fish knife? Is the fish knife ever good, by the way? Is this just kind of like the starter weapon that no one should really use?
It's really fast, so it has quite a high DPS, but people tend to not want to play it because it's the first one, so it's a bit like, yeah, I don't want to use the start weapon. It's a good weapon, and also it's one of the best, not the best, but one of the best igniters for the alter attack, because this combo is so short that you can use it for a pretty long time until you unlock more stuff. It's one of the fastest to show you the signal and then allow you to unleash the other's weapon alter attack.
I think you've already sold me on it. Like, I kind of just want to take it back now and forget about the kunai here then. But you're already giving me, like, good tips, I gotta say. Like, so this has a really short combo, so you can get the alter attack out sooner. So, I don't know, that sounds pretty good to me then. Well done.
Yeah,
well done.
And also its reach is a bit small if there is no target, but if there are targets close to you, we do have a lot of hidden helpers that will ease your journey, especially if an enemy is a few meters away from you, you will catch up that gap automatically in the movement. So actually the reach of the weapon is way bigger than what you can see.
I see, yeah. So
because of the movement it grants you.
Gotcha, yeah. So if you're near an enemy, even if you're slightly out of reach, you might move a little bit toward the enemy as you swing the weapon. I noticed that not every weapon seemed to have that. So the fish knife, this is sort of a bonus that it has. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well, most close range weapons do have that. Katars do have that.
Okay.
The Raven Blade also, but the Raven Blade is way bigger, so it's a bit more easier.
I love the alter attack on the Raven Blade.
Yeah, that one is good. Actually, it has been beefed up since the version you played.
Ooh,
so
even better.
It lasts for longer, so you can fly.
All right, so we got some gifts here. You know, I like to call these like semi-passive upgrades, but really you have some good, cool stuff here where with a lot of different interactions. I think the good sign that I like to see whenever I play, because I play like a lot of different roguelikes, what I like to see is all these different keywords available here, which indicates to me that there are different build archetypes that we as players can specifically aim for. So like already, I started with a gift I had just unlocked here that gives me brutality when I switch weapons. So now I have some gifts here that kind of amplify the brutality. And I like seeing that in a game instead of just, you know, plus 10% damage or, you know, plus attack speed and that's all you'll ever get, you know? So I like the gift system a lot. And I can tell that there's going to be, you know, a lot of replayability available for us here because you can try out many different things. So like right now, I'm going to start aiming for a brutality build essentially. So we'll increase the duration by double, 100% that I took there.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it's our goal to make you feel powerful with those gifts. We have another system that's actually only focused on simple stat increased, which are the boosts. But the main point of the game and the replayability are the gifts. And yeah, we try to make you feel as powerful as possible and to have effects also that are not just stat increase, but require you to play differently or to try new things each time. And yeah, so that is our goal, and we will try to make it better during the early access and to add much more.
And the cool thing with the Zeb's boons is that we aim you to break the game. We want you to hack the game with this, and this is what we want you to do, and we will let you do that.
That's good. That's always a good sign of a roguelike to me. Is even if it shouldn't happen every run, right? It shouldn't happen every time you play the game, but they should. I always do believe that they should allow the ability for players to, you know, essentially break it open, either if they get lucky or if they know the game really well, you know, and can kind of manipulate things. But I think you have to have those crazy, you know, silly runs that, you know, kind of just tear right through it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I just got bodied by like the first enemy I saw quite a bit here.
Yeah, well, we always went back to that thing of balancing versus OP stuff. In the end, super balanced stuff tends to be not contrasted that much and thus quite boring in the long run. So yeah, we do embrace the OP mindset. And to tackle that, we just put stronger stuff against you along the way. So your previous thing that was OP is not that OP anymore, and you need to find another one. This is the kind of mindset we have, is to not remove those fun moments that seem broken, because those are quite good memories. I have pretty good memories of playing Binding of Isaac and suddenly finding this crazy run that I will never find again. That's a souvenir I keep from that game that is super strong and maybe stronger than most of the runs I've done there. And I think it's something that has been in our mindset for all those years.
There's a good example of that when we were making the kunai's weapons. We just aim to get the game feel as soon as we can. So even if the alter attack is completely overpowered because it throws everything everywhere and you can curse every enemy on the map, we try to keep that feeling, and after that we tend to balance it with many tools like making enemies very strong or nerfs things here and there. But at the end I think it's still OP, but it's quite fun.
I think I know exactly what you mean, because if everything's perfectly balanced in the game somehow, then the choices don't feel meaningful for the players, right? Because then it feels like you're not making a meaningful choice, you're just picking up something new because it's new essentially. But I think it's one of those things, like, you have to have strong things and you have to have weak things sometimes too, you know? Ideally, you know, there's nothing that's really going to ruin any player's experience, but yeah, just kind of going back to, you really need those memorable moments where you felt really strong in the game in order to leave an impression on players.
Yes, and at the beginning of the project, this was exactly that, and we tried to make okay builds, but not wrong builds. Yeah, so the Windblown will always be playable, even if you take random boons on your for your stuff. But yes, it's okay build and god tier build only. But we try. I don't know if we succeed on that, but we try to have okay build at least for the players.
Yeah, I mean, it's early access, so there might be some things still, of course, here and there that we have to work on. That's where the players come in. But would you say that you can win every run? There's no amount of bad RNG, as they call it, that could actually ruin a run.
Maybe you can feel that this is bad RNG, but the tool we are giving to you, you can finish the game with it. You can finish the game with the fish knife only, because if you there is two parts in Windblown. To me, it's the reflex part. So if you are good in reflex, you can beat the game without being hit, and we give you tools that always working, but. Of course, you have also overpowered things to get, and we try to make it fun.
Yeah, we actually saw also people during the demo finishing the content of the demo just by dodging attacks because dodging at the moment of the attack reflects some damage. And so some people managed to simply finish the demo. So that is the first biome.
You already got dodging. Like challenge runners established.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. So yeah, we worked for. Yeah, we also worked with alpha testers for I think now 6 months. Correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Wow.
And yeah, we saw very, very interesting stuff, and they helped us a lot along the way to find out what was working, what was not. And yeah, we have a lot of very fun builds that they found in the game.
They also added some crazy ideas that they made their journey to the game. I don't know if you found any weapon with the plus 100% size.
I have, yeah. I think I had one that had like two modifiers on it. It just got enormous. Yep. It was just silly at that point, but we all had like a really good chuckle about it. It's just not something that we were expecting.
Yeah, well, at the start it was a bug. We shared a screenshot. I was working on the animation of a character or something like that, and the weapon just got gigantic somehow. So I shared the screen to the alpha testers, and they were like, "Okay, let's make it a feature." And we were like, "I don't know." And that Zeb said, "Hold my beer." And the next morning we had that affix added, and yeah. It's kind of those cool things where suddenly the crazy ideas backed by the people, they come into life in the game. And I think it's my preferred affix, to be honest.
The best features started out as bugs.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm going with the fish knife strat y'all are telling me about here. So I'm putting a lot of stock in it now. We'll see how it goes, though.
Well, you have to succeed, otherwise people will think we cannot be trusted somehow.
My gamer skills are on the line right now. Okay, well, I beat the first boss at least. So we had someone in chat ask, how much more content can they look at from the demo going into early access, which we only got 10 minutes left until right now.
Oh, quite a lot actually. So the demo for the next fest was only one biome. The game in 10 minutes will have 5 biomes.
5? I only saw like 2 last night when I was playing. Holy crap!
Yeah, there are 5 biomes. You have.
I only got to the second one, I should say.
Okay. You have one alternative path for the beginning of the run. And then you have 2 more biomes after the one you played in the streamer's demo. In the next fest demo, so it will be 3 more. The factory wasn't there, so that's important for the biomes. In terms of weapons, I think the demo had 7 or 8 maybe. There is 15 in the games now.
15 weapons now. Okay, so you doubled the amount of weapons between the demo and early access, or more actually.
Yeah, and I think Tef and Cardus made 3 of those in the last 4 weeks because we felt we were lacking some diversity, and they wanted more OP stuff also.
Yes, there was a lot of melee weapons, and we added a cool range weapon like magician for magicians, because we know that there is a lot of players who like magic. So and another weapon you may find later.
I picked up like the Sirocco recently.
Yes, Sirocco.
Like the staff. Yeah, it was just too slow for my liking though. Now, this is like a crazy fast-paced game, right? How do you balance like a very slow weapon versus a very fast weapon like that?
Good question.
I mean, I guess you just give it more damage,
I
right?
don't know if we balance it.
You don't?
You don't?
Cross your fingers. No,
we actually have several tools for that. Slow weapons usually do something more. We've actually 2 or 3 slow weapons in the game. Some of them stun the enemies quite a lot, so you can express yourself. Others have a very powerful final switch, so you can enjoy 3 iframes when you launch it. And others have well, actually, all of the slow weapons have actually very high final switch multiplier.
Okay.
So you can play a high risk, high reward play style.
Alter attack, right? This is a developer name.
Oh yeah, sorry.
See, you got the names confused just like me too.
Yeah, bad habits. Yeah, yeah. So you're totally forgiven, and I am too. I hope. So yeah, slow weapons can also trigger alter attacks that are more boosted actually. So you see every time that you have the alter attack igniter, you can see a small multiplier above your head. So for instance here you can see the plus 30% each time you trigger it with the fish knife.
I see.
Yeah, and with a slow weapon, the number
higher?
will go much higher.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. I was wondering
So-
what
Crazy
determined
numbers.
those numbers exactly.
Yeah.
You also have the possibility to do a build that will focus on attack speed. So that's a way to transform a slow weapon
That's right.
into kind of a fast one. So yeah, every weapon can have a usage, or you can find a way to play it depending on your style. Also, something to take into account is that the slowest weapons tend to have pretty good alter attacks.
I see.
So you can also only keep them just for their alter attacks. We saw that especially at the beginning of the game, where people are trying to get used to the fact to the dual wielding. So they would mainly focus on their square button or X button for an Xbox gamepad, and then just use the alter attack of the other secondary weapon. So yeah, all of those are legit ways of playing the weapon, obviously.
That's definitely been what I've been kind of leaning towards, is kind of holding on to a heavy weapon. Like even like the Raven Blade is just a little bit slower, but I just like the alter attack so much with it that I always want to pick it up there, basically.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, the final thing is that some gifts, some passives in the game focus on slow attack speed and heavy strikes, and so
That's
you
right.
can of course enjoy a nice build while using a weapon that is a bit more slower than the rest.
That's right. So would you say that attack speed benefits slower weapons a little bit more than faster weapons, or is it still relatively equal?
It really depends on the kind of build that you aim for. Attack speed is a really strong stat, but it also reduces for some attacks the iframes that you get, because the attack is faster and so you get a bit less iframes. So it really depends on the kind of build that you want to have. Some build focus on having more iframes. Some builds focus on launching alter attacks a bit faster. In which case, attack speed is a really good thing to have. And yeah, really depends on what you want to do. So there's no general rule regarding this.
I saw, so like the echo effect makes it so you replicate your
absolutely.
damage.
Yeah.
If you haven't done any damage for like 0.5 seconds, so that assumably that would benefit of like a really slow weapon then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
for instance, a build using this one will focus on slow weapons. And so getting attack speed for this kind of gift will be detrimental to it, while adding damage will boost it even further. So yeah.
Well, speaking of big weapons here, I guess I'm gonna have to try out the heavy blade now then here and see. Hopefully it'll carry me a little bit. I'm getting rid of my beloved Raven blade for it though.
It's really good to tackle the smaller guys because they get stunned super easily with it.
Oh, okay, good. Good to know. All right, so this is the first. Would you call this the first boss that we're seeing here basically now? Because the other one is kind of more of a minor or mini boss. Is that what would you say?
Absolutely, yeah.
This guy absolutely wrecked me for probably the first like 10 runs or so. And then things kind of changed so fast, right? The progress goes really quickly once you get to know some of the moves. Oh. 1 health, no pots, though.
Good luck.
We got this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the moment you can talk. You cannot talk.
Yep, I gotta focus now. It's up to you guys.
Yep.
You're gonna have to carry the convo now. Oh, it's the circle. The circle from those things get me so bad. I don't know why. It's all my own fault, though. Oh, but he got me at the end. I should have stuck to him. I could have had it. I could have had it, right? He was like 2 hits away, but then I ran away. I had stunned him and everything.
It was a really nice try, though.
Oh, well, it was a good warm-up run. Now's a good time. We get to actually play with the developers, and it's probably a good time where we can kind of start talking about co-op, too, as we get going here. But let me grab the room code, the secret room code. No one else is privy to this information. Okay, so I get to talk to Bird Friend here. And so maybe if you don't mind talking about why'd you want to make a co-op game exactly while I load in here?
Why make a co-op game? To have fun with friends.
Yeah.
No, but I think before that sales, our studio was making a lot of community-based web games for like a lot of years. So there always have been like an appetite for co-op games, but that has to be dropped to make Dead Cells a thing. So really early on, wanting to make a co-op games, I think it was one of the first cornerstone of that project, even before it became a roguelite and something so action focused. That was not really like the initial intention. The initial intention was to be able to have fun with friends. There have been even prototypes of like party games somehow. There have been a lot of different ideas on the table, but yeah, quite quickly, well, you're made of what you eat. So we eat action combat games, and some of us made Dead Cells. So yeah, we went back to the roots, also because especially the roguelite formula wasn't a thing for I think a few months. It became a thing because it allows us to reset the progression like quite in a strong way every run. So that allows us to have people that haven't played that much and people that played that game for 2 months and still have everyone be relevant. It's not like you're level 6 on World of Warcraft and you want to play with a level 60 and it's completely pointless.
Right,
You're
yeah,
useless because
yeah.
you cannot do anything apart from grinding and hopefully catching up at one point. So yeah, we really wanted a game where after half an hour, you are able to play together with someone that played quite a lot. So and also wanted a co-op game, but wanted to play a fast-paced action. And yeah, we could find really, really great co-op games. Obviously, there are a lot. There are a lot of great games. I think it's a great time for gaming overall right now. But they were not as fast as what we were aiming for. And meanwhile, we had fast-paced games that weren't co-op. So the challenge was to create one. And then we discovered that it was hell difficult to do such a thing because there were no real blueprint to copy paste. So yeah, that's also explaining why it took so long to create that game.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm sure just the idea of making a co-op game, never mind like the network and all that stuff that you have to think about when you're doing this, but just a roguelike where the progress resets every time and you want to try to make it work between any players, whether someone's been playing for 1 hour or 100 hours, trying to make that all mesh together and have it, relatively balanced is just insane to me that you're able to actually pull it off too. Oh no. Damage dealt plus 50%, incoming damage plus 50% too, though. So glass cannon. I know you called it damage hex, but I'm gonna have to call it a glass cannon. Y'all could carry me through this run if I choose this, right?
Yeah, we can.
Oh yeah, we'll try.
You're very
you're
very confident, I gotta say.
You should have a look at their Steam account to see the amount of hours they played that game already.
Oh,
yeah,
whoops.
quite a few.
I ran out of time, so I actually ended up picking it. So yeah, okay, I'm relying on all of y'all to carry me right now. So there is a res, right? If I remember correctly from the demo, we can we resurrect each other? Actually, let me ask.
Well, you can resurrect the other guys by killing enough enemies.
Okay.
So
that's right. There's a counter.
Exactly. When one guy dies, suddenly every hit will kill instantly. So it's kind of difficult. But if you manage to kill enough enemies, then you will resurrect everyone and you will become the real MVP.
Yeah. Don't count on me doing that for you, though.
We missed a secret there.
Ooh.
Sure.
Well, I like the little emote touch here.
There's one here, I think. This is a new one, even for me. Just to let you know.
Oh, good. We got some dust out of it. I need a lot of dust here. So that's how we're going to unlock some weapons. So you got a good amount of meta progression in the game right now, right? Do you have, like, sort of an amount of hours in mind that players will have to spend to unlock it all? Or is it just kind of, here's what you got?
If you want to unlock everything, I think you need at least 15 hours.
15?
If you are really like going in like in straight lines somehow, because there are quite a lot. As I said, there were like 15 weapons, but there are also 3 magic fish. There are like more than 100 gifts in the game. A lot of them though are unlocked by patch. So you will, for example, unlock a gift or a trinket that will grant you a freeze. And suddenly in the background, so it's not shown currently, we may make that a bit more obvious, but once you unlock something that does freeze, then you have a set of gifts that work especially on the freeze, like making it last longer or making it shatter and be stronger, that kind of stuff. Maybe that, I don't know, I have a bit of delay, so I don't know if you're not too much focused.
No, it's fine. We're in the menu right now, so it's fine.
We're cool. Don't worry.
On talking for a few seconds. So yeah, we have many effects. So the ones you see with the icons in the menus or in the game, and so once you have the ability to launch an effect, be it from a weapon, a trinket, a passive, anything in the game really, then you will be able to get upgrades of these effects. And these upgrades empowers you further and empower the effects further. And you can get pretty far, pretty crazy builds by stacking the upgrades or just using different upgrades from different effects. And yeah, that's it. I think Biju explained everything pretty well.
Well, and also talking about the effects, some effects are individual, some other effects are collective. So you can have like special strategies when you are playing co-op, like naturally. For example, like something super simple like the freeze. In co-op, the freeze will last for a certain duration, but you can shatter it by hitting the frozen guy. But it's only the guy that applied the freeze that will do the shattering. So for example, you can strategize that with your teammates saying, okay, I will freeze that guy. Once that's done, just throw everything you got, and then I hit him before the end of the cooldown.
And then that way also, your teammates can't really sabotage your strategy too much either way, either. Because if anyone could snap it out of it, it could be dangerous, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or for example, the curse that do come mostly from the kunais. The effect is that you stack curse on a foe. The more curse stacked on the guy, the more damage bonus that will be added to your hits. But that bonus is collective, so you can kind of roll as the cursor. You will just curse everything for your teammates, and you focus on that, and then they will apply the more damage once the foe reach the final curse state, where suddenly it doubles again the amounts of damage. So, and everything works like that. You have the burn aura thing that creates a zone around you, and every teammate in that zone will apply burn. And so yeah, for each effect status, that kind of thing, there is always a little twist for the co-op that can grant, but I mean naturally, new strategies for the group of players.
Yeah. So for instance, here I have a trinket. Let me use it right on the ground here. Here, so there's a dummy which produces an area of curses. So every enemy inside it will be fully cursed, and so you'll have a huge damage boost effect while the effect is active. And yeah, of course, also players can drop items, weapons, trinkets, and gifts. And yeah, and we can just exchange anything in the game.
Ooh.
So if you want to, you can just make someone
really strong,
completely broken, yeah, with everything, and just play the role of support if you want to.
So you can drop items for your teammates to pick up. But it's not necessarily all shared loot. Is it only things that you drop that will be shared to everyone?
Almost, yeah.
Sorry, Zeb. I don't want to interrupt you.
Go for it, Biju. Short time.
Okay. Good time. There is stuff that is shared. There is stuff that is not. Mostly all the weapons, gears, gifts, everything that is placed on the ground that you can see as an object next to your character, that is shared. So whoever wanna picks it. It's not really in your interest to loot rush everything, because that will just mess with the synergies you wanna do.
Right. You want to pay attention to what you're picking up.
Yeah, well, it's a cooperative game. Everything has been thought to push players to cooperate. For example, when you are in a shop, we have this deposit thing, this deposit word that kind of confuse people instead of buy because you are depositing money. And so, if you only have 100, the thing costs 300. You can put everything you have, and your teammates will put the rest. It's actually inspired by buying beers for friends at the bar.
Oh, yeah.
That is the main reference for that. But it can go beyond that because some gates have to be paid with your life, with health points. So you can sacrifice a part of your life and someone else can add to that. So that again goes into this spirit of cooperation between each other. And yeah, everything that is in your inventory can also be dropped. So if for one reason you are struggling or you picked something that doesn't fit the build you want to make right now, you can give it to someone else. Or if you're playing with someone that doesn't have the recycle upgrade, so he cannot recycle stuff on the ground,
Oh,
you
okay.
can, but someone else has it, then you can give him the stuff you don't want, and he will recycle it. So everything is thought really to, so every benefit or a strength of any player can benefit the whole group.
I like the little swim trunks or towels that the characters have on when they enter the hot spring here, by the way.
That comes from the alpha players.
The
Yeah,
the alpha
absolutely.
players want you to put the pets into swim trunks for them.
So I think it's Noemi that created the bath suits. When we created, she and Gwen worked on the onsen, and the player said, "Oh, it's great, but it's missing a hot towel," and we were like, "Oh yeah, come on." So we had to redo all the characters for that, but we did it.
Worth it,
It was
right?
mandatory.
Oh, a
Yeah,
gift
I
slot.
think the
I've
best
never
one is
seen
the
this.
pangolin.
I don't think I've ever seen the gift slot, but yeah, going back to what you're saying,
Oh yeah.
we can work together to purchase something. So
Mhm.
if we all deposit a little bit of money, it'll appear on the ground. Then one person, namely the best player, of course, here gets to pick it up at that point, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of, so this will reward players that want to work a lot more thoroughly together potentially, right? Because you can discuss like, okay, I'm going for a Mark build, I'm going for an Echo build, you know, and you can say like, oh, I got something offered that's good for Echo, I'll take it, you can have it, you can give me something later, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. The goal is to have well to encourage the players to have many discussions about what is best for the team. But of course, everything in the game also allows you to play purely for yourself if you want.
Mm.
Some of us in the team really like to ninja loot everything, and so well they just
No one's
become.
targeted, right?
Absolutely no one, but it's also a fun way to play because this way you can also experience the game completely differently.
Yeah. Also, one thing to take into account is that if people felt that the headbanger boss in the streamer's demo was hard, they need to discover the rest of the game because
It's gonna
when
get
you will
harder, is
reach
that what you're
the
saying?
oh hell harder. So you will have to cooperate for sure. Also, one little thing when you went to the little sanctuaries where you had this UI with the three different choices, that being either gift or weapon or whatever, you can always also check what is proposed to your teammates. You can put your cursor and select their propositions, and you can also see the little video description and whatever. So it's also a place where you
Oh,
can
wow.
do strategies. Actually, currently, it is not possible to use emotes and the text chat in those UIs, but it's definitely something we want to do. Right now, we cooperate with chat, but that's part of the things we would like to update to increase the quality of life features for the multiplayer.
I gotcha. So you can look at what the other players are being offered too, and I mean,
Yeah.
so that way it doesn't really require, say, you're all in a Discord call discussing everything super thoroughly. You can kind of figure it out even in like an open lobby or something like that, right? You can, the more you play, the more you know the game. You can still have like a bunch of highly skilled players working really well without having to go through all that extra effort, huh?
Yeah. Also, we do have a voice chat integrated from day one inside the game with all the quality of life stuff like push to talk or whatever. You can choose however you want to communicate. We do also have a text chat, but right now it's limited to the action scene. It's not present in the different UIs, as I said. And you always have the way to communicate just with the emotes. I personally did a few runs with some alpha players, and I was in the train, so I could not like really use the vocal chat.
Gotcha.
And writing was a bit complicated too. So just with emotes, you just say, "I cry when I disagree, and I'm happy when I'm agreeing," and we can find a way to communicate with each other, even such a simple one.
So would you say it's your goal that at least, at the higher possible difficulties or at the late game, and that you're going to have to work together in order to get through it?
Well, that's the goal. Also, we want to make sure that people that want to play alone can do it. So it's always
good, yeah.
That balance between the two. We do have players that don't want to play co-op games. It's not their thing, and we totally respect that. So Windblown is a fully fledged and legit single player experience, as Dead Cells was. But it has this extra way of playing where, in multiplayer, if you really, really want to reach high levels, we do everything we can to encourage you to communicate and create the builds together. Also, something to take into account is that we already have game difficulty modes integrated.
Oh, good.
So every time you finish the game, you will unlock the next difficulty, and the last ones, they are pure hell. I haven't done them personally.
I never beat 5 BC in Dead Cells. I tried. I had to put it down. I couldn't do it. I gave up. You beat me.
That's the thing. Now you can play with Cardus.
Yeah.
Now I can have someone else help me beat it. No, Windblown here instead.
Yeah, well, that was the intention of the co-op. Also, is to you see in the Souls game, you're in front of that boss. You're trying to kill him like Magritte in Elden Ring or early game, and just kicking your ass again and again and again at the end. And then you would invite a friend to do that and surpass that struggle together. That's something that we think it's a really strong idea to overpass difficulties with other people. That could be friends, and that could be also people you don't know. In the game, you will be able to create rooms that are publicly open.
Okay, so there are public. You can make a public room and then just find anyone to play with you, right?
Yeah. And you can tag the room as are you playing casually, or do you wanna do it like super seriously or whatever?
Like that, yeah.
You can. Yeah. We are at the beginning of that UI, and by the way, if people have feedbacks about that, just shoot them. That's the whole idea of the early access. But the idea is that you can experience that moment of camaraderie somehow, the brotherhood, I would say, with anyone.
What do we like better here? I don't know if I'm loving my magnet trinket right now. Give me the Blade Storm, maybe. I think going back to the kind of solo versus co-op thing, I think you hear a lot of players when we're talking about a co-op game, especially in the roguelike universe, a lot of people say, oh, this game's really, it's easier if you're playing single player, or it's easier if you're playing co-op. I mean, how do you kind of tackle this problem where I'm sure it's not easy to balance a game for between 1 and 3 players like that, because it's like 3 completely differently balanced games, right?
Yeah, well, balancing is always a huge issue. So
Yeah.
sometimes we embrace the imbalancing and sometimes not. So on that part, we try to keep it balanced, obviously, because you don't really want to have a super different experience in terms of difficulty.
Yeah.
So we do scale the difficulty, and we scale it on the fly, by the way. So if someone leaves the game suddenly, so you are 3 players. If Zeb would leave right now because I don't know, it's dinner time, the game would instantly rebalance for 2 players.
Oh, nice.
And if he comes back afterward, it would rebalance to 3 players on the fly. What we change is we slightly change the number of foes. It can increase a bit. That said, it would never go to be like a flow of monsters because we really like to keep like the kind of this dual approach to combat where you need to be able to read the patterns and react to the patterns. We don't want to go to the, I don't know, Destiny Warrior. I will take an super
I
extreme
see what
example.
you mean, yeah. Where you're just going
but
through
yeah,
like swarms and swarms of enemies with no health, basically.
Yeah. I think the maximum amount is 5, and it's when you're 3 players, and it's in certain arenas, and it's only certain mobs that do work in that situation, I would say. So we do have a slightly rebalancing of the amount of monsters. We do work on the health quite a lot of the monsters.
Okay.
We do not scale the damages, and there is a known bug, by the way, that the headbanger does like 250 damage. That's just the counter that is bugged, and we haven't fixed it yet because we had over like super top trio stuff, and so the streamers were like, oh, they increased the damage in multiplayer. We didn't. It's just a bug.
Just a bug. Okay, so that's Zeb's fault then. Gotcha.
Yep. Every bug in the game is my fault.
Well, you know what? We shared the code base, so it's our collective fault. But yeah, I think it's pretty much it. Then obviously we add a bit more stuff in the shop, in the different shops. We do change slightly the procedural generation because we haven't talked about that because it's so sometimes it's so obvious, but maybe it's not. The world is generated for each run. So the decoration, placement of monsters, also everything is generated on the fly. And so yeah, those are like the main differences. Also, that's a good example. The Headbanger do have some strategies that you cannot do solo because when he has his laser,
I was gonna
he's
say,
targeting
yeah.
one guy. Yeah, so suddenly you get that role of manipulating the boss, of controlling his direction, while your teammates can do other things. That's something that we have we want to push. Have those kind of natural situation where you would get.
We let him escape. What happened?
Yeah. That's a secret, actually.
It is?
Well, the head will try to flee once you beat the boss.
Yeah,
But we won't spoil what happens next.
Okay, I
If you
was
kill it or
worried.
do
I
not
remember
kill
the
it.
first time I beat him, I was worried that if I let the head escape, that it would like respawn or something like that. So I'm like mashing really hard to make sure it dies. Yeah, so yeah, the boss will target in
encourage you
solo.
of letting him flee and then killing him, doing both. You should try both.
So yeah, in solo, I had a hard time with the boss because it's always going to target you in solo, obviously. But that's not the case in co-op. It's just going to choose one player, especially when it uses that particular eye laser beam. And they're going to have to be the one that hides behind the pillars. And then that way, the other players can actually focus on damage, which is neat, to say the least. You know, I kind of like that. You know, there are different strategies, even if it just kind of comes naturally to a boss like this, where it changes things up and co-op could feel different even if you've played some solo. It might actually kind of reinvigorate the experience to some degree.
Yeah, we really try to avoid approaching the co-op like, suddenly know that you're in co-op, you can do something completely new, a new set of weapons or a new set of whatever, and suddenly it's not exactly the same game. Kind of artificially giving tools. We try to create systems that are always compatible with the single player. A good example of that is how we heal. When you heal in Windblown, you're actually dropping the flask on the ground and you're creating an area of effect that heals everyone that's inside it. So in single player, that does work by itself, and the AOE doesn't have a huge usage. But in co-op, suddenly, if you drop that and there are several people, everyone will get a little extra heal from that.
Nice. I was going to ask, I could see the effect appear when we're playing, so that way you'd probably want to strategize if you see one person low on health, maybe. You could even monitor how many flasks they have left. You can go just run to them and try to help heal them for them too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you even have a reminder on the screen, because if someone is low life and he doesn't have anything to heal himself, you will see. So it's not a red cross because it's forbidden by the Geneva Convention. We cannot use that in the game. So you have a Swiss flag
Gotcha.
above his head. So you know that guy, he cannot heal himself and he's in trouble. So you can try help him. You even have some strategies. You can drop a lot of flask on the ground next to a guy that won't move a lot because his weapon is kind of static, and he will get some damage, but he will auto heal somehow. So you can kind of pre-shot the heal with that system. You have there are a lot of little subtle things like that you can do, with such a system.
So even just the healing, there's a lot more to it than it might even look. 'Cause if you play solo, it's just yep, use a flask, I'm just going to heal. But then in co-op, you might want to think a little bit harder about it. By the way, I love this fish with the giant open mouth, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it's new. We made that the last 2 weeks.
So if we died before we got to the fish, would we not bring the cogs that we've acquired back? Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, you will even lose all the memories you got. It's like
Brutal.
It's hardcore.
Brutal.
That said, when you discover, until you have beaten the mini boss in the Golem's Garden, you will have one mid biome, and the same for the headbanger in the factory. You will also have a fish mid biome until you beat him one time to ease a bit your discovery.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I mean, we saw one, at the mid boss, and then one after the main boss. So it's not infrequent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, boomerang's new.
Oh, maybe you will unlock a new power soon.
All right, I'm getting rid of my anchor boom, which was just a giant anchor I would shoot at enemies, apparently.
That's a weapon that was unlocked by one of your teammates, and you've been able to get him from their loot, I think.
Yep, that's it.
That's kind of a good question then about how the unlocks work in co-op. So if someone has a weapon that's they can find in a run and they go do a co-op run, all players will be able to see that. Is that right? Or is it just that they'll be able to drop it?
No,
so-
mostly everything is shared. So if one person has unlocked something, everyone will be able to access it.
Okay, gotcha.
So it will give you a small taste of what is to come for you on your
nice.
progression in your game.
Yeah, mainly all the stuff that is placed on the ground works like that. And then all the places where it's a UI that grants you stuff, that comes from solely your stuff.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
And then you can always drop.
So I think one thing that comes up a lot, especially in the action roguelikes, is how long is a run? Do you have a particular goal in mind? When we're new to a game, it's obviously going to take longer to complete a run because we have a lot of reading that we want to do and just kind of figuring out all the different things that are going on. Like, I have to read what the charged blade does, and I might want to test it out, so that's going to add a couple minutes to the run or something like that. But do you have like a particular time in mind for the average player to complete a run here?
It really depends. First, the most important factor is are you playing alone or with other people? And especially, are you communicating with them? Because when you start strategizing your stuff with other people, suddenly the chat takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
And also, if you're just talking with friends, sometimes we saw that a lot, like people just stopping to play, just looking at the vista and talking about life somehow. So that can increase, I would say, artificially the length, but it's also part of the experience. So I think it's a great thing.
If you want to have an idea, yesterday I was playing with my daughter, and we went to the last boss, and it took us about 50 minutes. But I was debugging also, so I was writing bugs for my colleagues, so it may be between 45 and 50 minutes.
Gotcha. I mean, that
Maybe
sounds like a pretty good sweet spot for a casual run to me, you know? And meanwhile, if someone chose to play the game really quickly, I'm sure it could go much faster.
Well, yeah, I think we had some alpha testers finishing the game in 10 minutes, something like that.
Well, less than that,
I think even
I
I tried to do one really quickly for the demo, and I think I got it in like under 10 minutes by a little bit. It was hard, but oh my god, yeah, the pace is like really quick here.
Yeah. One important thing is that we do not really limit your movement. So the game is not organized in a succession of arenas or doors where you need to kill all enemies to go through those doors. You can just rush through the levels if you want to, and just kills the necessary enemies. And so there's different ways to play that can impact your playtime in the level.
So the main benefit to killing like all these little enemies that we're going through right now is mostly for the meta currency to get more unlocks, right?
Meta currency and also
too.
runs in the loot for the run. So you will have some rewards tied to killing mobs. Sometimes they will drop something like a weapon, a new trinket, a level up, a boost, sorry, or a gift. And so when you kill everyone, usually you end up stronger during your run.
Gotcha. Kill all enemies without taking damage? Uh-oh.
It's a bit the same that the scrolls in Dead Cells, that approach.
I gotcha.
You can just go in a straight line, but you would miss some of those, and at the end of the run, things can get difficult because you're not powerful enough, or you miss some stuff that could have been useful to your build.
So when I see this dash and just like how crazy things can kind of look and feel, did you have like any sort of speed running aspect in mind of the game? I mean, how involved are you in like speedrun communities like that, I guess?
We had them in mind the first day we.
Oh yeah,
we
day one, really?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it goes so fast. It reminds you of speedrun by itself. Actually, there is an exploit in the way you're dashing in the game. I won't explain it. I'm waiting for people to find it. We'll never patch it, but there is a way.
You're never gonna patch it, you said?
Well, I don't see the point. It's fun and useful to people. So why removing the fun from life, right?
You know, that is a great question. You know, because I think there's a lot of examples out there where, you know, speedrunners will find an exploit in a game, and that is how the developers end up probably finding about the exploit as well, and thus it ends up getting fixed. Sometimes, you know, people don't like that. Sometimes, you know, it might be better for the game, but yeah, it's an interesting approach that you have.
Yeah, well, as long as it doesn't, I would say, it makes the normal experience and the other players suffer, I don't see why we would change that. So yeah, you have ways of going way faster. There are some strategies there. Also, we already saw some people talking about a race mode or that kind of stuff. That could be fun.
Ooh.
Those are like ideas we saw that we think could add some spices to the experience. So it's like kind of I would see that more like as a mini game, really like the game. But those kind of ideas could really fit with such a locomotion system for sure.
Okay, so speedrun mode is coming. That's a promise now already. I'm gonna take it. and then a race mode. And so, how do you feel about adding like other?
It would make sense.
Oh no, we got a teammate down here. So it says sudden death. So we
Yeah,
need to kill 3 more enemies. Is that the deal?
Yeah, exactly. But while in the sudden death mode, well, not mode, but state, we die in 1 hit.
Yeah.
Wait, we die in 1 hit too?
Yep.
All right, so we have to find 3 more.
The corpse can still do emotes, so it's nice.
We can try this one and try to resurrect Cardus while in the fight.
And if you resurrect me, I will.
I got you. Don't worry.
Elian, carry us, please.
How many more? 7 more now. All of a sudden.
Yes.
Yeah. You are both dead. What?
I'm supposed to be the newbie here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just pretending to be bad and die. Yeah.
You are doing great. Maybe you will resurrect us.
Yeah.
You can do it, Elian.
Yes,
Oh,
we
you
are
did
back.
it.
Oh!
Oh, nice now.
So, just so you know, for the future, my salary demands 250 grand a year. I need full benefits package. I need 64 days vacation per year too, by the way.
Well,
All right.
after that, anything you want.
Yeah, we created that thing. I think it was Pascal that thought about the curse from death cells because we were struggling a lot with the deaths in multiplayer. We tried a lot of things like a system where you would push a button, smash the button to revive a guy, or have lives that would revive you automatically, like something you would find more in a 80s game or that. But every time it felt like for the co-op it wasn't really good because people would have nothing to do and there were no tensions and it was just a bit boring to die. So in the end, yeah, we created that system where okay, it's hard, and it's one of the systems where we get the most feedback. Like, man, I'm not sure about that one, but it also, yeah, because it's hard. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a judge decide that now it will be super hard, but also the when you free the other guys, the feeling you have collectively, that creates a lot of bonds, and also there is a lot of tension. The guys that died, they are not doing nothing in front of their screen. They are really backing you because they wanna be back, and they cannot do anything apart from motivating you, and that goes really in that spirit of collaboration between players.
I think that's a good point because I've played a lot of games. I'm not going to call anyone out here by any stretch, but I've played a fair amount of co-op games where one teammate dies, and lo and behold, it's probably me, and I end up just sitting there, just waiting, just twiddling my thumbs, waiting for them to kind of like kill the enemies and get to the next zone or anything. And yeah, it definitely doesn't feel very interactive. I think having that countdown timer makes it a lot more interesting.
Also, by the way, in the second biome, it's easier. Would not say why, but it's easier in the second biome, and it's intended.
Well, you got me questioning things here and now.
Yeah, for sure. That's fun.
Okay, good. We get a brief respite here. I think now's a good time. Well, I got to thank chat for all the different gift subs from all the different people. Thank you all so much. Welcome. In case you kind of missed the introduction here, we are playing Windblown with the developers from Motion Twin themselves. We are doing a co-op run right now. We're actually doing pretty good, right? Like we've beaten the first major boss, and we're in the would you call this the third biome, or is this now still only the second? Would you describe it?
Yeah, it's the third. It's the Rat Village.
Okay, Rat Village. Beautiful.
It's rats that are having a party because it's the end of the world. That was the theme. That was the original idea.
Oh, I see. So, because the world is kind of in tatters here, one of the creatures that would still be left would be a rat, right? I need this gift slot, by the way. Oh, you got it. You son of a gun, you.
Yeah.
You can't drop that, can you?
I have a confession to make. I am the ninja looter in the team.
That's a good question. I know you brought up Binding of Isaac and a couple other games earlier today, but do you have any other particular inspirations that you kind of looked at when you were thinking about Windblown here?
Oh, well,
Yes, but there is a game that comes back in every discussion is Monster Hunter, because
really,
yes, for two things we are trying to do is the layer of depth you can have by using weapons, and with sometimes in the game you will see there is a lot of tricks you can do with weapons. And this was the thing I really liked in the Monster Hunter, is after maybe 50 hours of gameplay you can discover new things on the weapon you just played for 30 hours. So it's the kind of thing we want to do, and the other things Biju really want to do is the approach of the multiplayer, and we would like to make the sorry, my French is going back.
You're fine. You're fine.
Maybe. But the things I want to say is we want to be able to jump in or jump out in the party whenever you want, like you can do in Monster Hunter World with distress rockets. You can call friends in the party when you want, and maybe we will do that in the onsen. You can make your onsens public, and maybe the people can come at the second levels if you're alone at this stage of the game. But we really don't know yet how we will do that. But
I see.
Yes, we will try to make this game more online.
Gotcha. So you're interested in letting players just come and go at any point in a run potentially. Like a player could leave, and the enemies will adjust for it. And maybe in the future, players could join mid-run too, and monsters will adjust and things like that as well.
Yes, sure. If Zeb needs to go, someone can come in our game, even if we are here at Red Village.
Gotcha. Ooh, very nice. Gotcha.
Well, that's one of the. It's still a dream.
Gotcha.
It's
still a dream for now, but I mean, it's something that you have in mind at the least,
Yeah, well, it has been quite a long time, but it's a huge part, and the game can be good without it. So that's why we haven't prioritized that, obviously. But that's something definitely we would like to try during the early access. We already talked a bit to some players about that idea, and they seemed interested. But yeah, as a lot of things, this is also inspired by pubs and bars. This is inspired by this moment where you leave the bar at 1 a.m. and people say, "Oh, I go that way," and you say, "Oh, I go that way too," and so you do a bit of the walk with the guy, and then suddenly you say, "Oh, I turn left," and you turn right, and so you had that little moment together. If you want to keep going, you can, but if you have something else to do, then you just do your thing. So yeah, that goes actually in the thing I was telling you with the Souls game, where you're in front of that boss and your hands are shaking and you need help. We would like that to be a thing. We will prototype and see if we can do it during the early access for sure.
You're dreaming big, at least. Biju knew to kind of dial up, backpedal a little bit, and be like, we're gonna try. But I mean, yeah, this is something that sounds like an amazing feature if we can get it in the game, and not that the game has to have it for sure. But yeah, just that ability.
I just don't want to. I just don't want to promise stuff
I
that we
gotcha,
will
yeah.
not deliver. I promise I would try. For sure. But and I think pretty confident it could work. But we'll see. Anyway, there are a lot of things that have to be done before, like new weapons, new content, and all. It's like
Yeah, I know
we
there's
have
a lot of
works.
priorities for sure right now.
Yeah.
So we've arrived at the incubator. This is now so is this the 4th biome? I haven't been here yet.
Yeah, it's the last one.
Oh, this is the
Yes.
last one now. Gotcha. Because you said that there are 5 biomes and one of them is an alternative to, was it the first? Is that
Exactly.
true?
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe we won't go further because, in order not to spoil content. So
If that's what you want to do, I don't know. Do you have a plan to add more biomes after this one, would you say, throughout early access?
yes, sure.
Okay,
Maybe more alternate path in order to
more
not.
alternate paths. Okay.
Yeah, yes, because if you have 50 minutes of gameplay to go to the end of the main path, it will be too much. So we will have alternate path and maybe add some new bosses, new weapons, new monsters, and everything.
I think that was one of the really great things that Dead Cells kind of introduced. I'm sure Dead Cells wasn't the first or anything like that, but it was one of the few games that I noticed, instead of just tacking on more and more and more to a single run, so you're going through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 biomes all in just one run, and it's taking you 2 or 3 hours to do all this. Those alternatives really added a lot more to it, I think, and just gave it a lot more replayability without really hampering the player down and locking them into, a 2-hour play session just to do one run.
And we need to discuss about how you can learn a boss after 50 minutes of gameplay. And this is an issue because if the main path is too long, it will be too long for you to learn the last boss. So
that's a good
point.
point.
We will need to find some solutions for that. Even now, it's too long for me to learn a boss in this level, So maybe we will try to find answers for that.
He's the guy that is playing at the highest level of difficulty, of course.
yes, but I want everybody to be able to go far in the game and learn. And I don't want to make the game easier. I just want to make the game easy to learn and hard to faster.
Right.
To master, sorry.
Yeah, more approachable. Yeah, because I think
to faster. What's the...
you don't want
French
players
expression.
to get too frustrated at the process, right? There's an element of you want to challenge them and you want them to be able to overcome those challenges, but not to the point of frustration, hopefully. So I do think one of the hardest parts in a roguelike is usually getting past a boss is usually the biggest barrier that we got, but you only see that boss once every, maybe 20 minutes if it's the first boss, once every 30 or 40 minutes if it's the second boss, etc., right? So it's a lot harder to learn the boss patterns in a roguelike game versus like one of those Dark Souls games, right? Where you go right back to the boss and you do, 20 attempts in 10 minutes or something like that, or at least that's how many it takes for me.
Yeah, sure. And we are thinking to find an answer in order to you will maybe have I don't know. I don't want to promise anything, but maybe a room to train against boss could be great. I don't know. I'm just looking at the eyes of Biju right now.
No, because
I was gonna say
he's always saying stuff, and people is like, okay, no, it's a contract.
Cardouz is the dreamer. Biju is like, okay, come on, let's let's be realistic.
Biju and Zeb make things possible, and the team make things possible.
No, well, to be honest, I worked at several companies, and I've never been in a company where we try so much stuff and so much utopias somehow. We really worked and prototype stuff that on the paper was like way too costly, or way too crazy, or way too whatever, but okay, just prototype it and see if it works. So we'll test that stuff. It's my reaction is more like I don't want people to feel like, oh, that will be a thing in the game, and for sure, and that's why I want to play the game. Guy, we don't want to disappoint you. We'll go in that direction. We'll try. There are high chances that we'll make it, but yeah, just don't want to disappoint people.
Right.
And just especially because sometimes it takes quite a lot of time to do stuff. The healing system, we've done, I think, maybe 11, 12 different systems before finding that one. The the system when you die in co-op, the same. It has took like 8 to 10 months to find the right solution. And yeah, we don't want to rush it. We want to give the time to be able to prototype, to iterate, to really have a proper solution, something that fits our intention and what the players needs and also wants, and not like put the first idea as soon as possible and it's kind of May, but we can add it to a press release and say, oh, look, there is something new, but it's not that great. So yeah, that requires to be cautious. So when something gets into the game, it's really good. That's what we want.
I think the key phrase here is under promise, over deliver, right? You know, because as much as you want to do everything ever that players ask for, you know, that's just not always realistic.
Yeah.
Oh man, we got absolutely destroyed. At first, I was like, I don't even know what this enemy was. At first, we were knocking all the enemies off the edge, and I was like, I don't know how we're doing it, but we were killing everything. I didn't get to carry all this time. I'm sorry.
No, actually, you did on the previous mobs. As you said, you pushed everyone over the ledge. So it's a special alter attack.
I was gonna say, because the alter attack
weapon
for that weapon is like, oh, I don't seem to be dealing really any damage with it, but then I noticed for the smaller enemies, it was knocking them all off the ledge. I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. No DPS meter to show that I was on top, huh? It's okay. Cardoons will promise it for us.
We'll add one at some point.
Oh yeah, is that actually something you want to do?
Compare your performance. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Something to be able to talk about with your friends. Some stats, of course, and some recaps of the run you just had.
There is one, but it's hidden, and we haven't used it since a few months, so we are not sure it's working well. So,
gotcha. Yeah.
But we already have the stuff to track your DPS for sure. We just need to implement it properly.
Time is what you need. I think adding that competitive side to co-op actually adds a lot to it too, right? That just makes it so much more fun, I think.
I love in the Mario Party games where you get the because you were the first in the previous mini game, and suddenly it kind of annoys the other guys, and they want to do better just to get that stupid crown. That kind of stuff is kind of cool.
Okay, so I'm unlocking the shield here, which has a parry move. Now, I notoriously mostly hate parry moves in games, but I've kind of come around to it just because it's usually really, really hard, right? And Dead Cells had parry moves in it too with the shield, right? So I don't know if you want to give me like a rundown or tutorial here on how to get good with this.
I can already tell you that it's harder than in Dead Cells.
Oh no! Why would you do this to me?
So you can block any hit that is not coming from the ground. So for example, when you're against the headbanger and you have those little towers that does the the circles of flames, those you cannot block because it's on the ground. But any slash that comes or any other hit that comes directly toward your body, you can block.
Gotcha.
Simply by holding the weapon. But if you release your input just before getting hit, you will parry. You will either throw back a projectile. That works. So if a projectile comes to you, you just release your shield just before, and you will just send the bullet back to the guy, and it will explode. Or if it's like a melee attack, you will do an automatic counter-strike that deals quite a lot of damage.
I'm watching it here at the dummy. And yeah, it looks quite intricate. So there's still an alter attack even for the shield if you successfully parry. Is that correct?
You get the alter attack even if just you block.
Oh, wow.
If something hits the shield, you get an alter attack. So it's a really good igniter. And also in co-op, you can see a little eye when you block above the monster. It means that it's taunt. So you taunt other monsters. You can get the aggro.
Oh,
from them.
there's a taunt effect if you're holding up a shield. Is that what you're saying? Oh, yeah, it says provokes enemies. I see.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. So that makes it. Oh man, that adds a whole nother like exponent to co-op here, because you could probably instruct one player, or one player could kind of be in charge of holding the shield and just focusing on parrying, to say the least, right? And then that way the other players, the other players can focus on getting behind the enemies and just blowing them up, right?
Yeah, and it will be you in the next run.
Yeah, you got to take turns, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you can practice parrying at the dummy actually.
Yeah.
And to parry you need
compatible.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you can try to train to release the shield at the right time to do parry.
Oh god, this is going to be a struggle. I mean, I like that you told me. I like that you told me that you really kept in mind that you didn't want this to be just like a crazy survival game with swarms and swarms of enemies. The most we'll ever see at once is like 5-ish, right? So that way, something like the parry maneuver will be, actually plausible, I think, even in a fast-paced game like this.
Yep.
And you will see in the harder difficulty modes, you will need to learn all the enemies' patterns. So the game really change when you go in the harder difficulties, because this is not about smashing buttons anymore. This is about knowing what you are doing, and it's cool.
Yeah, I think the alter attacks really convinced me that, okay, I gotta actually think about what buttons I'm pressing and when, and just the best order in which to do things. Then I'm thinking about the weapons, and I'm thinking about how I'm pressing the buttons and all those things, and I don't know, it just definitely adds this whole other level. And not to mention, some weapons you can actually charge, right? They actually have a charge move that you can hold down the button and perform like an alternative than the normal attack, right?
It's not all of them. You do get some even at the beginning of the game. You do have the Raven Blade that looks like a feather. If you hold it, you will do a jump slam attack. That every held attack currently does criticals, by the way. Every weapon has a specific rule to deal critical, but if it has a charge attack, it will deal critical also. You have the kunais that when you hold it, you will make all the curse that you did apply explode. You have the katars that do a backdash that position you automatically in the back and in the right direction of the foe, because the katars are specialized on backstabs. So yeah, you have those. Also, something to take into account is that most of those movements, held movements, where you will move a lot. So like the jump of the Raven Blade or the backdash, the dash in the back of the Katars, all of those grant iframes. So you can really play like in a Devil May Cry / Bayonetta style.
Devil May Cry, wow, that's
really,
a callback for me.
Well, we even have some like anticipation frame cuts like they do in such games. So we have a bit of that. We'd like that we create more of those. So yeah, there are a lot of different styles and tastes. But that could be a really legit way of playing, is like to focus mostly on the iframe. So that would be using weapons that do have held attacks with movements and use alter attacks. Most of them, the vast majority of them, do have iframes.
I was gonna say, it definitely feels like making use of the iframes is going to be really important to play well here.
Yeah, especially at the higher level of difficulties. So that becomes a thing once you finish the game, one complete run. Health and heal is pretty scarce in that game. You do not have that much. And especially in the next difficulties, we remove some of the sources because the wind has blown and it has removed the onset somehow.
Somehow.
So somehow, yeah, surprisingly.
I've seen a few people ask now. It's a good question for kind of like a straightforward one here. Do you have a particular... I saw that there's a roadmap on Steam, rather, for early access and how long you plan to have the game in it, ideally, I guess. But if you want to go over just like what your exact plans are for early access and how long you plan for it to be there.
Yeah, so we said it, I think, even back at the TGA announcement. So it has always been the plan to have at least a year
At least
of
a year.
early access. And if we need 6 more months or 1 more year, we'll take it I just saw the number of players. Sorry, I lost my word. What the fuck? All right, so we do have quite a lot of players right now, which is a good thing. Great. So yeah, we'll.
You're watching the numbers on the side, aren't you? I can tell.
I just stand because I was sitting for an hour and my legs hurt a bit. So I went to Tef and he was looking at the thing. So yeah, cool. Thanks everyone already. Yeah. Early access. So yeah, we'll spend the time needed to have a really good game. So
yeah, that's the bottom line, right?
But yeah, that's the important thing. The goal is not to be ready for Christmas or ready for that Valentine's Day or whatever. This is not how we prioritize. It will be ready when there is the amount of content that the game needs to be considered as a fully fledged experience, and when it will be at the level of quality a fully fledged game should reach. Obviously, even for the start of the early access, we try to make the thing as polished as possible. But yeah, there is still a few stuff that are a bit, we say, Swedish somehow, like in the movie with Jack Black. Then, so yeah, in terms of how we will do that, first we'll do nothing. We'll just watch and read and see how people react,
right?
And
see what people are saying, what they think of the game and such.
Yeah, that's super important. Actually, the last 2 weeks, so obviously we continue to work on the game, but personally, and it's the case for a lot of my colleagues, the weekends we were watching streams and looking at how people what they were thinking about the game, what they were liking, disliking, etc. That do counts a lot. We already wrote some ideas. And we wrote the names because we try to give credit. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to track, but we do our best. So yeah, well, that will be the first phase. Next, bug fix like hell, because obviously we'll be flooded by those in the following days, because now we will have way more players than what we had previously. So you can have some bugs because someone has a certain GPU or CPU or whatever, and that is something a bit difficult to test when you don't have all of that. And then new weapons for sure, new gift like a ton.
More new gifts.
Right now we are so Gwen just went into the room with a bottle of red wine Bordeaux, of course, and so let me cheers. Cheers. Santé, as we say. And yeah, we would like to add biomes. How many? We don't know yet. For sure, at least 1 or 2, at the bare minimum. And yeah, well, this is the thing we wanted to have this experience. Now it exists. Now we would like to see how people react and what they do with it. And based on that, we'll make the game. It's not like a fake thing where you say, oh, we'll not check. We check with a lot, like even with the alpha player. There's been 8 months. They put so much into the game already. It's crazy. It's really crazy. So yeah, would like to add some accessibility options also. That takes a lot of time to do, and we want to do it right. We already know that the game is not really accessible, also because of its spacing and all. So it's already difficult to make the fruits the base one. So yeah, all of that will require some attention. And as Thomas was saying, we wanna develop a bit some of the intentions that we didn't had the time really to tackle because there were like really the gameplay to do first. So that idea of merging a bit more the single player and player, also putting more lore. Some people may have saw already the new trailer.
Oh, that's right, the new
that has been
trailer.
made. Yeah, that has been made by the guys at Broad that were doing already all the trailers on Dead Cells, and they made also the animated series of Dead Cells. So we worked quite a lot with those guys, and they are super talented. And they made both trailers for Windblown already, and it you will see already kind of a story that is depicted that is a bit subtle in the game right now. So for us, their work is a great way to convey that lore and that story we would like to put into the game in the long run. So that we will work on that, obviously, because there is quite a lot of depth to that super bright and positive environment. You may already have saw that a bit in the last incubator biome. It's a bit darker.
Things tend to get a little more somber when you get into further into a game. Like things get more serious, and I think that's kind of the right motif to have. Things. It's kind of like in those old MMOs, right? You start off killing bunnies, and then by the end you're killing giant dragons, right?
Yeah, definitely. I love killing bunnies.
Yes, lore will be important, but we don't know yet how to tell the story of Windblown because we need to know how many biomes we will have, how many bosses, and we already have the idea of the stories, and a lot of scripts has been written already, but we need to find a smart way to tell the story, and a way that fits with the roguelike genre. And yes, of course, I'm thinking about of Hades but we may won't go so far, but we will have a narrative in the game. We just need to think a lot to how to tell it in a smart way.
I think that's one of the hardest things to do in a roguelike, right? Because you have this natural repetition and replayability. How do you build a story around that exactly, where
yeah.
I don't know, it gets super complex,
Yes, I really think we need to embrace the genre, to embrace that the game has been made to be replay a lot of time, and we need to make the story goes with this kind of systems, and now to write a linear story. You go to the first biome, you have this information. The second biome, you have this information. Maybe an intelligent way to do that is to let the player explore and redo some fights. And you will see there is a special fight in the game that can be redone a lot of time because there is a different way to finish the fight. I don't want to spoil it, but this is maybe a way to make the player try different things in its combats to unlock things in the story. And yeah, maybe we need to dig this way. I don't know yet, but we are thinking about it.
We're back in the hot springs. Wait, what skin do I have here from Zeb?
Oh, it's actually the pangolin. I don't really know the English word for it. Is it the same?
Pangolin. That's right.
Pangolin.
And
yeah.
then Carduz is the axolotl. Is that right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I got the guinea pig. You chose some of the strangest animals, I gotta say, for the skin.
Yeah. At the beginning of the project, we had tiger, birds, and everything, and we really wanted to have a mood that is different. Like you are playing cool kids and a bit punk, and I think weird
Weirdos.
animals is cooler. But we may have a lot of animals in the game.
So you plan to add like more skins
Oh,
after
yes.
this, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of ID.
There you go. I mean,
Well, we
those
already,
animations must be some
gave
of the most
the
time-consuming.
guinea pig.
Sorry?
I said we already gave the guinea pig skin in the
Yeah,
demo. So there are some cute animals. There are also some weird ones for the players that do play the game in its earliest days. So like now, I think it's until the 8th of October or something, or the 7th. They can get the intern skin. I don't know. You played it?
Yes, I
Yeah.
already played it, but I will activate the debug mode to show you. Well, maybe it will ring.
Maybe it will be it will be reminiscent of some game.
And this is the one I have it. Maybe you already seen this kind of character in another game of Motion Twin. I don't know.
Might recognize is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And sorry, Elian, I did interrupted you. What was your question?
Oh, I don't remember. Don't worry about it. I got plenty more questions where that came from. Where that came from anyway. I know we kind of talked about, what you're currently doing. So you really want to focus on player feedback at the moment, right now, right? And just see what they're saying. Do you have an idea what the next major update you're thinking of exactly, though?
I think the next major update will be a biome.
Okay.
That is the most logical thing. But biome means a lot of things because a biome it's a place, it's an environment, it's a mini boss or
Enemies.
a boss depending on where we place it. It's a whole bestiary with its own. With every monster having its own pattern and way of interacting and weaknesses and etc. So there is no two things that are exactly the same in the game. So we try to avoid copy pasting stuff. So everything is handmade.
No reskins is what you're saying?
No, there may be in the factory the small hand and the big hand.
I knew it. Oh man.
Yeah, there is this one that they behave a bit differently. But apart from those, all of the rest is really mostly the same. We do have though the variants that you can unlock, where you can unlock variants of a monster you previously met. So that's a way also to add some variety.
I'm not certain I have that one yet.
Yeah, that's already there. You can unlock that in the game. You already have a lot of ways of changing and manipulating the randomization and what you get access to. So the game doesn't look the same after a few hours. You way more stuff, different stuff. So yeah, regarding the new biome. So yeah, world bestiary with the rewards. So that means new weapons, new gift, new all that stuff, obviously. So that's a lot. I don't know when it will come out.
Don't make a promise. See. It's okay.
On that one is way too huge. The rest was was pretty small stuff. But that one is huge. But yeah, for sure, I think that will be the next major one. I think we'll do smaller with a lot of quality of life stuff based on feedbacks. That's kind of the stuff we can do quite quickly that really enhance your experience in the game, and add a few weapons, a few gifts. Maybe not with a whole biome, but yeah, I think we'll have such a rhythm where we do one small update and maybe a bigger one afterward.
Okay.
We actually, to be fully transparent, have to have that talk since 3 weeks. But we were rushing the game. We did the last commit for the game. The last build was early this afternoon. In
oh
France,
my god!
Like
so you were updating it like 4 hours ago still?
Yeah. And we kept updating also the demo, so it's stable enough until the end. So yeah, we were like really at work, I would say. We didn't spend that much time in meetings. We tend to avoid meetings; they are quite boring. But that one is important.
Nobody likes it. It could have been an email, right? All right, so we got some people. I know this question is probably too early to truly answer, of course, you know. But people are going to ask, what do you think about... well, let's start here. What do you think about console launches for when the game is finished or in your eyes?
If we can do it, there is... I don't see why we wouldn't do that, of course. For a lot of us, we were kids console players, so it's part of the dream, right? To have your games on console. So yeah, if we are successful enough, that will be a thing.
So that's another promise.
Yes, that's another problem. Another promise and a problem. And yes, a lot of players ask us why we are not releasing the game now on console in early access. And the answer is quite simple. It's because on consoles we have a delivery process that is quite longer.
Yeah.
So we are way more agile on Steam and PC, because on Steam, if we want, we can do a patch just now, because we just saw a bug or a thing, and it's impossible on console, and it's way longer. So we don't want to slow the process to make the game better. So yeah, that's why we are not releasing on console just right now. And of course, because we are only 8, and we cannot do everything at one time. So it may take time.
I mean, that makes sense, of course. I mean, it's mostly unrealistic for an early access game to hit consoles. It's just keeping up with the updates and delivering those updates onto the consoles is like, no one really does it, unfortunately, you know. Maybe someday we'll have like the technology to kind of do this or something like that, but for now it seems like this is where we are. Protector fish, what the... Oh, right, I haven't had one of these in forever. I kind of forgot about them for a minute here. So this is a longer cooldown, right?
Yeah. It's inspired by the witch doctor in Warcraft 3.
Oh, yeah.
That makes a bubble around you. It's completely from this game. Because we find it so cool at the time. Just shielding everyone. Like. Yeah. And you can unleash all the power you have.
So we take no damage when I have this fish on?
No damage at all.
Okay, so I have an interesting question here, because at the very beginning of our run here, I took a gift that makes it so I earn a boost, which is what we're looking at right now on the screen, whenever we kill a mini boss or an elite or a major boss. Do all the teammates benefit from that?
No, only for you.
Oh, only for me? You. That's fine. I'm the important one anyway. I was gonna say, because I was gonna say that seems pretty broken. That seemed pretty broken if it was for everybody.
It was. It was like that, and it was really. Really, it was that kind of rare bad OP stuff. So we had to calm it down somehow.
Yeah, at one point it also dropped 2 instead of 1 each time. So yeah, led to very fun playtests.
2? It used to drop 2 gifts each time? Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, our code base is made with French tape. It doesn't stick that much.
Burn ore. I don't know if I've had this. All right, along the veins of talking about consoles, again, this is one of those things that I'm going to get you to promise on the day of your early access launch, of course. But a lot of people, of course, have already been asking about crossplay. And you can say as little or as much as you want, but I figured I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't at least throw the question out there.
Sorry.
That's a no. Yeah, that's a no.
Got interrupted. No, we just got interrupted by someone that is like, look at the numbers, look at the... like, no, we are focusing. We are having a nice chat right now. Let us focus. Sorry, Alien. What were you saying? We are so unprofessional.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so, oh crap, what was I saying? Oh no, someone's dead. Okay, hold on.
Oh no, some.
Focus
I
on
got
the
fish.
fight. That's what
Time to
matters.
focus. I will make it a fish. Fish. Hit the fish, please.
Hit
A
the
lot.
fish. Hit the fish. We're fish. Oh no, I got confused. Oh, we got laser. Oh,
my
no,
God.
117.
1, 2.
Carduce,
all
it's
on
all
me
up to you,
now.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will do it.
You can do it. You can do it. Not too close. Not too close. Not too close.
Not too close. I will crush this guy.
Oh, the bombs.
I let you. Gwen is kind. He went into the room saying in French what you just asked, but I will answer after the fight. Just focus, guys.
Ah, hi. I had it.
Yes,
played.
you did it.
Well played. Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, kill it.
Yeah, I frozen it.
Trinkets, everything.
Blow it. Blow everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, head is
GG.
destroyed too. Nice, well done.
So yeah, Gwen was super professional. He went into the room saying, "Alien is asking for cross-platform." That was it.
Yeah, so crossplay. So players would
Yeah.
like to know. I know, obviously, this is something. Well, we wouldn't get it until at a minimum of console launch. And again, I'm asking you to make a
Yeah.
promise for something that's very far away right now, probably.
So we created the tech of the game to be able to do that.
oh,
So technically speaking, our code base and the way our servers work should allow us to do it. But that's still a theory. We'll have to double check that it complies with all the demands of the different consoles and device and platforms and whatever. And we'll have to see how we tackle the compatibility with the version. But yeah, at least we have the basis to do that. But it's not something we have tested, or it's not bulletproof at all. But it's definitely something we would like to go to.
all right. So that's another promise, everybody. Crossplay is confirmed right
So
here,
much.
right now.
Too much promises.
We should stop doing those streams. It's a trap.
Yep.
It's a trap.
I mean, that's one of those things that, it's not easy. The truth is, I mean, we don't want to get too much into the weeds of development here, but I know, like, certain, like, Nintendo and stuff, this is hard stuff to make, to have happen. It's not easy, and it takes time, and it takes resources sometimes, right? But I know, like, players are definitely, they don't want to be stuck only interacting with one console. If they have friends that have it on PC, someone has it on the Switch or something like that, that's, of course, they'd like to be able to play with whoever.
Yeah, well, our goal is to have the most people possible able to play the game with what they have. Also, we don't want to ask people to have like a $2,000 computer in their house. Not everyone can afford that, so obviously, actually, if we could release to like quite cheap consoles, if that's doable, for sure we would try, because there are also like gamers that would love to be able to play such a game on their device. But yeah, that takes time. As Thomas was saying, internally in Motion Twin, it's 8 people. So
8 people at the studio, right?
Yeah, we are only 8. We do work with freelancers, so the maximum for the team is like 13 people at one point of game developers. That does not count, obviously, the marketing guys, the PR work around the game on the business side of it, that are like super important, and kudos to them, because we need them. But yeah, in terms of game devs, people like having their hand on the keyboard and putting code, art, music, sound, whatever, it's like only 1,000 people to the maximum. So yeah, it's not a lot. We are really a really small team.
Yes, and to be clear, without our freelancers, we couldn't have made Windblown. So thanks to them.
Yep, definitely.
Is this like 3 animals in a trench coat I'm noticing all of a sudden?
It's
I guess you're right. And we need to give them some dialogues and things like that, but it's not finished yet.
yeah, like right now it's still the cringe shop somehow. You have just weird people looking at you and not saying anything.
Ignoring you.
Yeah,
That awkward stare.
imagine a great game, please.
Yeah.
Just imagine it.
I like these little touches though, like even just coming up on this platform and getting this little overlook here, and then you have like the wind tunnel thing up top. All these like little touches in the atmosphere and in the environments, they're really important. I think more important than some games really realize.
Yep, it's Grooney's magic. She likes to add small things like that. You remember the swallowing fish, the one that gets your cogs and memories and all? That one, you can see him fly in the arc. There are like little hidden things like that. If you look also at the boats and the buildings and so on, they are kind of drawn by the kids. If you look even at the canon, they did draw little Poe. Little eyes and little whatever. There is actually the drawings of our kids in the game, in the arc. There are the drawings of Thomas' daughter and my little boy. They are on the different elements of the arc.
Do you expect your kids? I mean, I when you say your kids, I picture like 2-year-olds, but in reality, for all I know, your kids are 15-year-olds. Do you expect them to enjoy this game? Would you say?
They play.
To be honest, my kid is now 8, and she know it's the headbanger. She can beat the boss without being hit.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. An 8-year-old.
She's my first fan.
It took me like 6 hours to beat that boss, and your 8-year-old is beating it.
It took a lot of hours for her too. She was very afraid at the beginning because she never played fighting games. And after a few hours, she gets used to it, and she is way better than me, and way better than her mother too. That's so fun.
Not sure about the last sentence.
I found a really big weapon if you want to try it.
Oh my god, what is that thing? Yes, I want to try it. Let me get rid of this. The eye blade, and its size plus 100%.
Yes, you should try its alter attack.
Okay, try the alter attack. Cool. So I'll get rid of... I'm not a fan of the kunai there. I said, oh my god. It takes up the whole screen.
Yes, of course. Why not?
What, it's the goo one? No.
No, so I'm going goo into the alter attack.
Eye blade.
Oh, yeah.
Eye blade. It's the most OP weapon. We nerfed it maybe 3 times.
And it's
I
still
don't know if
good?
we need to nerf it more, but
The good OP. What the fuck?
And this word can be found on a monster. So the monster starts to slash you with it, and after you kill it, maybe he will drop his own weapon, and you can have your revenge.
Are there drop rates in this game? Is that like a little randomized to some degree?
Sorry, can you rephrase, please?
Is there like only a certain chance it has to drop, or is it guaranteed when you kill the enemy?
It depends. There is some weapons that are very hard to have, and others that are guaranteed to drop at the first kill. And there is some surprises in the game, and it's quite hard to loot, actually.
I actually kind of like that, like you don't see it a lot in games anymore, I think, like the random drop chance for something like this to have happen. But I kind of like that because then that keeps surprises coming to us even after we've been playing for like 10 plus hours potentially. Something that you didn't know was going to happen, this enemy that you've killed 1,000 times already, suddenly they drop a brand new weapon for you. I think that's cool, I like that.
Maybe there is a hidden skin. maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe there is a hidden skin, and maybe we know that the game is meant to be replayed a lot of times. So if you get all the loot at the first kill, it will be finished in a second. So you will see. You will see there is some surprises in
Many
the game.
secrets.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big key to games that it's kind of hard to describe. You know, there a lot of people's favorite games. It usually comes down to, did they make memories with that game, right? You know, how nostalgic is it going to be for them after that? And a lot of those memories do end up coming from just getting surprised by a variety of different things. You know, maybe there was a biome that you weren't expecting, a bigger enemy, a boss where you weren't thinking there would be, secret endings, you know, who knows, right? And I think that's just really, really important.
Yeah. Maybe you will find secret in a secret. I don't know. You will see. Secretception.
No more secrets left after this stream, it sounds. So I got an upgrade that makes it so I get more damage the more max health I have. So I've been prioritizing that.
Yes.
Hopefully that's going to go well. So I have plus 55% more damage, but also just way more health. I kind of like going for health so far in general.
One little detail, when you increase your health, you get the difference of health points, because not doing so is boring.
I think the fact that, the health pots scale with your max health too. So yeah, there's good reasons to take max health. I don't know about everyone else, but a lot of times when I play a game, I end up just kind of always taking damage. But I kind of like that there's good reasons to take health here.
Yeah, you should always double think, at least. Like, should I take health? Yes or no? Well, especially when you will reach the late game and the higher difficulty. Health is more scar. That could be a good source of just heal, actually. Just taking that boost.
More. I can't help but notice I have 400 health. Zeb has 100 health.
Yeah, I'm a glass cannon, which is why I'm always dying.
So I think something that maybe this is an unlock I don't have, but something that we see in games like this often are re-rolls in order to let players like kind of pick their build, so to speak. Is this something that I don't have yet, or do you have any thoughts on it?
Thomas has it. I saw it on the screen. So maybe you don't. It's an unlock you have to take at Eperint in the arc. So yeah, you can reroll.
So we can reroll. Okay, I just wanted to confirm so people know. So that way we could.
Yeah.
You can kind of cater a build and kind of push it a certain direction, right?
Yeah, you can reroll all the UIs where you get gifts. I think boost also and gears. You cannot reroll the shop yet.
Yet. Another promises.
Gotcha.
No,
More
but
promises.
that one is an easy one. Let's give at least one firm promise. That one is.
And since you can share all your stuff with your friends, being able to reroll all the items is a way in co-op to make the perfect build. So that's why I really love the co-op in Windblown is for this simple feature that lets you just drop your stuff on the ground. It's very simple, but it makes all the difference. It makes the party very different, because when you really well know the game, you know what you want. So you can ask your friends, hey, can you grab me this thing, or grab me those things because I need it, and you can clearly break the randomization of the game by playing co-op, and that's very cool.
One thing to take into account, by the way, is that playing in multiplayer doesn't stop your own progression. Everyone is still unlocking stuff for themselves while they play multiplayer. it's not limited in any way. You actually tend to get more rewards by playing multiplayer. So yeah, there is nothing that will injure your personal progress by suddenly playing with other people. The progress continues to progress in any kind of game.
That's a good point, because, I mean, I haven't seen many examples, but there have been some where, progress gets stifled because you play in co-op, because, maybe they were concerned that players could get kind of boosted, so to speak, but if that is the case, in a game like this, I think it kind of works out still, because you still have to survive on your own. Yeah, one player might be able to kind of deal a little bit more damage than another, but that's sort of the fun of playing with a friend, so this way you get to warm up to the game a little bit more easily, potentially, if the other player that you are with can kind of guide you through it a little bit.
Yes, it's the best tutorial ever to have co-op, because roguelite tends to be very complex. Windblown is very complex because you have a lot of items, stuff, weapons, way to use weapons, and when you are playing co-op, other people will tell you how to do this. So we avoid the power leveling effect you can have in Diablo 3, for example, because
oh my god, yeah.
yeah, you will see when you are level 5 and you are going to with your level 60 friends. It's kind of fun, but it's different because you don't really share the same experiences as your friends. And in a co-op roguelike, you can, because everybody starts at level 1. And other people can guide you to choose things or make this build or this other build or try things. And yeah, and we come from the World of Warcraft era, and
Yep.
and this is kind of a souvenir that we want to bring back. When you were rushing instance all days, and of course we don't have an open world and so on, but we try to have this instance run effect, and you loop a lot of runs to get your stuff and power your character. I don't know if my English is very clear. Sorry.
No, you got it.
I understood it.
Oh, thank you. You're so polite. So
we got our
we
new
did not-
boss. I don't think we've seen yet here.
Yeah, that's because we killed the head previously. So that was the secret.
You can dash on the fish to jump.
Oh, you dash toward this fish, and then you jump down
Yes.
toward the boss and deal...
Yeah, it does a lot of damage. If you dash fast enough, you can deal a completely OP amount of damage.
Yeah, you can exploit it, so it's good. Oh,
Ooh,
GG.
almost got me there. Ooh, I got a new achievement,
Yeah.
though.
Someone got the Swiss flag.
Swiss flag.
The Swiss flags here. Oh, I think I got the anchor boom or whatever here. There we go.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we want here? Ooh,
Well,
I think I'm going
you're
for
doing
a
quite
goo
well.
build. So at some point, there's probably a good reason to drop this boost stock, the thing that makes boosts drop eventually. If we know that we're getting towards the end of a run, we kind of don't need it anymore, I guess. In theory. I don't know if we're really that close yet, but... Alright, so I'm going into the goo, although I've used up all my heals. So, Cardouz, you're just gonna have to heal, keep us all healthy here.
Yeah, I will try.
Okay, we got a shot. I don't know how I have so much money. I got $2,300, though, to spend here. It's 2,300 shells. Oh, we all
went
have
through a
crazy
lot
amounts
of
money.
run currency options. So we got a lot of shells.
Ooh, a level 5 eye blade.
Oh, this one is nice.
Alright, I need all these health pots. Trust me. Alright, I need this new eye blade, too, for more backstab damage.
more
Oh, no,
DPS.
but then I lose
Yeah,
the
but
size.
Yeah, it's not big anymore.
It's not big anymore.
If you don't want it, I'll take it happily.
All right, you can take the big one then. It's level 4, so it's pretty close anyway.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So there's another A blade, Thomas, if you want one.
Now this one's crit and finisher damage. I see. So there's quite a few modifiers out there. Some of them come with like a negative because it's so high too. Right?
Yeah. There's actually more than 50 currently in game. 50
something modifiers are possible?
Yeah, 50 different modifiers in game.
Holy.
Those are unlocked from the start, so it basically only depends on your luck and what type of weapon you get or trinket, because some, of course, are only compatible with some types of gear. And yeah, the goal is to have them have an impact on your game, of course. And we will introduce many more as we continue the early access.
Yeah, I remember it was quite important in Dead Cells to get kind of the interactions there between different, I guess you call them dots and stuff like that. And it seems like that's something that's definitely being prioritized here, because like I have kind of something centric around applying goo to enemies, and this way I deal critical damage to them, and I deal more backstab damage to goo to enemies and things like that.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. So in Windblown, we prioritize, we have less modifiers and affixes than in Dead Cells, but you try to have them more impactful to the way you play. So this is something we will improve when we continue developing the game. But this is our philosophy and our goal. The idea that you do not have 5 modifiers, each one with only stats, but we can have 1, 2, or 3 with a significant impact on the game. Of course, there is still stats because it's always nice to just have a simple damage boost.
Yeah, just sort of that carrot on the stick, right? To kind of tell players, you know, like here's a little bit of progression for you here and there, right?
Yeah. Yes.
I think that's good, but yeah, I mean, we see a lot of like little roguelikes out there that, you know, all of the progression is just, you know, damage or damage reduction or whatever. And I think especially when you start to look at, oh, we got someone down here. Oh, is this like the hard thing?
I'm having it's me. I'm having a hard time talking while playing.
It's okay.
It's a very nice job you do.
Oh no! I got hit by the simplest enemy, a tentacle.
Sorry, I had the right timing.
But yeah, looking at the meta stuff that you have unlocked, a lot of the things that we actually unlock in there are things that kind of actually completely change up the run. Like you encounter totally new events in the future runs and things like that. Oh,
what?
Man.
Yeah.
The same area got us as last time, basically, here. I think we did well, though, still. I think we did a good job, still.
GG's.
Perfect time for my webcam to freeze here, too. All right, hold on. Let me fix that. All right, beautiful. Well, chat, I think that's all the time that the developers from Motion Twin have for us today, but my God, they've been absolutely phenomenal, right? They've been really great. You guys, thank you so much for coming and joining me. It has truly been an honor to have you here and just talk about the game, you know, and the time flew right by also. So I really appreciate you coming, and I look forward to playing a lot more Windblown, that's for sure. And I hope everyone in chat is too. And of course, let me remind everyone that Windblown is out right now in early access on Steam. Please go check it out. I wasn't even paid to say this. I'm just here to promote a good game because I really do think I have a lot of stock in this game right now. So Bijou, Carduz, Zeb, you better make it good by the end at the least.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great to spend that important day with you today.
All right, my friends, thank you so much. Good luck with the rest of the launch. I know you're going to be really busy out there, so I look forward to see what the game has. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us on your stream. This was very cool.
Thank you. It was really nice. Lot of fun.
Right. We will drink wine now.
There you go. Perfect. The perfect send off.